Well, hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am the cruise director on the magical mystery tour that is this channel. Today, this is take 2 or 3. So we are playing in the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Pretty in Pastels palette today. And I've already played in it, to be quite honest. I recorded 4 looks, except little blind me had hit a button on my camera that messed it up. So I recorded 4 looks for nothing. So we're starting again. Before we get to it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new videos. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up at the end. So let's get into it. Okay, so the easiest way to use this palette, this is a new palette, the lighting in here does not do it justice, is to use this center row as your transition shade. These are beautiful light shades to be able to use. Then you deepen up your crease with this row down, which is your mid-tone matte, and then you can either deepen your outer corner, use this as eyeliner, the darker mattes, shimmer shadow, the deeper of the 2 shimmer shadows, right across your lid, and then this light one on the inner corner. That is the simplest way to use it. What I will say about this palette, I've got a lot of pastel palettes. If you get rid of this row, it's your standard pastel palette. Like, look at it. The issue that is with all of these palettes that are like this is that you don't get any depth. But not have they just given you depth, they've given you amazing depth. So this really elevates the palette. I'd like to be able to say all of my reactions are going to be my first off reactions, but as I said, I'd already recorded it. I wish you could have seen the reaction I had to some of these shimmers first off. So first off, we're going to do these 2 outer shades. They're more sort of cooler tones. We'll do the pinks and mauves and the blues, and then we'll do these ones. So seeing as we're doing these, I also picked up 2 of the liquid blushes. These are a blush and lip product. So I picked up the shade Gentle, which is this rosy pink, and the shade Sunny, which is an orange. So going in with Gentle first off, I will use this on both sides of my face. I'm going to put it onto a pan first, not straight on here. It's just how I prefer it, to be quite honest. I'm sitting here with a sneeze stuck up my nose, so at some stage my eyes are watering. I just wish I could sneeze. If my eyes look a little bit watery, I just managed to squeeze that sneeze out. Hopefully this hasn't dried. So going in now, these blushes are a really good alternative if you like a liquid blush. And you have been looking at Rare Beauty but don't want to spend the money, or any of the liquid products that are sitting, you know, around that $40 mark. These are $25 full price, and you can pick up a bundle of all 5 shades for $100. So I only picked up the 2, just given I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of my spending, even though I've just started a channel this year. I am trying to be a bit more mindful of my spending, mainly because 1, I've got a lot, 2, Cosy lives, and my daughter gets married in Western Australia later on this year, so you know, that's not exactly cheap by the time you go over and you've got your accommodation and airfares. Because for those of you that don't know, I live in Hobart, Tasmania, which if you are from Australia, you will know where that is. If you are not from Australia, that little triangle at the bottom of Australia, that's Tasmania. That's the state that I live in. And Hobart is the capital city. It is the southernmost city in Australia. It's a teeny tiny little island. The only thing south of us is Antarctica. So As you can see, that's a really nice shade. It is pigment. Okay, so I have just put this on my lips as well. So you get that really nice monochromatic blend with there. What I will say with it is it's a really thin wand. Would I prefer it to be thicker? Absolutely. But I actually get why they've done it that thin, because if you're using it on your lips, it is more compatible with your lips than a fat why can't I think of it? Than a fat doe foot. Oh my gosh, that took a bit of thinking. I'm not sure how I feel about it on my lips. I like the colour, but actually I really like the colour. The issue that I have with it is that waiting for it to dry down a bit, the texture, it feels really moussey, but it just feels weird. So going in with this first row, I think this shade is Mystery, Fanciful and Tranquil. It's really hard for me to read them. Then we have, well, I can't read them, so I'm not even going to bother. We'll go in with these. I'm going to go Transition, Deepening shade. I'll do a bit of liner with this because I'm trying to recreate the looks that I did earlier on. I will talk you through them because I want to zoom right in now. Going in now with a fluffy crease brush, blender brush. Just going into that lightest pink shade and straight across the lid to give it a wash of colour. I've got another sneeze stuck up my nose. Man, oh man. My eyes are really going to start watering. My nose feels like it's going to start watering. This has got a little bit of kickback, a little bit of dustiness to it, but that is because it's the way that it's packed. I don't have a problem with kickback in pans at all. You just be gentle when you put your brushes into them because you don't need to dig in, because if you've got nice softly packed shades, which I would prefer than a tightly packed, you're going to get a lot of kickback. But just tap off your brush. It's as simple as that, and that'll prevent fallout. So I've just dipped into that. This you have to dip in more. This and probably the lemon you have to dip in a little bit more than the green and the blue, just because they are a lighter wash of colour. And obviously this being pink, it's the closest one to my natural colouring in any case, so it's not going to show up quite as intensely as the other shades. But that's a really nice wash of colour. I'm going in now to deepen it up in the crease with the Fanciful, which is a lilac-y shade. My poor brush has been through the ringer this week. Oh, I might get a different one actually. Okay, so I've got a slightly better brush there because that one probably needs, oh well, it just needs washing, and I just need to sleeve it properly. I moved the mesh sleeve around and it's caused it to look like it's having a bit of a psychotic break. So just deepening up this crease now. Now with this shade, we're not going to go in too intense. I'm going to use Tranquil, which is the deepest shade. I'm going to use that as a liner in this instance. Packing this on to the outer corner to create the depth with this second shade. As I said, not to get too intense with it. You absolutely could, and at some stage I may very well use that. But that's going really pretty. As you can see, these are just really blending themselves. Okay, so I'm really happy to sort of that depth. As I said, I don't want to go too intense with this shade. We're just sort of trying to create a soft, romantic look. So I'm just going to go and place an eyeliner in my waterline now. Everything that I use on my face, I will list in the description box. Okay, so we've got a really nice lilac in the waterline, and going in now with the deeper shade that I will use as a liner. So just going across the top, essentially from midway where that is. I'm going to show you something here, which is why I don't do a wing very often. So I'm just, as you can see, right? So closing my eye, going out, that's naturally. I can't even do a bat wing for this simple reason. When I open my eyes, as you look, my hood, I could do a bat wing if my eyes were sort of hooded like that. But this hood, here's the edge of my eye from where we realistically go out and wing. When I relax my eyes, my hood is down here. Like, look at that. My hood is down here. It is past the outer edge of my eye. So there is no point, if you've got sagging, really hooded eyes like mine, there is no point in trying to do a wing that way. It's just not going to work. Your eyes are going to look sad. So going in now, underneath, we'll just stamp that along. And what we'll do instead is go out horizontally. As you can see, I've gone out too far. I've exaggerated it just to show you, is to go out horizontally. So what we'll do instead is to go out a bit more horizontal. I've gone out a bit too far before, so I've just pulled that back a bit. And so that'll give us a sort of a wing without it being a wing. I'm not going to try and go up. It's just not going to work for my eye shape. And then stamping in there. You can see I've got that bit there, so we'll just darken up and join them. But as I said, there is no point to try and go out any further, to go up any more of an angle, just because, again, there's my hood. If I could only lift it up, I could have surgery, but it's not happening just yet. So having done that, we want to now go back into that lilac shade we've used on the top, and we're going to use it to smoke out under what's going on underneath our eyes. I did this exact thing last time. I wanted to show you the creasing under my eyes, which we'll do on another one of the looks. For when we have concealer under our eyes, the creasing, it can show and people complain about it. This is what you do to get rid of it. You buff it. It smokes out this liner because liner's too harsh for us. And it'll also get rid of any creasing under your eyes and disguise this area where it happens. Okay, so now we are going to go into, I don't know why I was about to hold this up, we're going to go into Ambient, which is the darker of the two shimmers. And just pat that. This is such a beautiful shade. This reminds me of, I've got so many shades that are like this, I might add. So this reminds me of Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, which I don't think you can get anymore. It reminds me of that. Actually, I've got another eyeshadow palette here that has this sort of shade in it. No shades, a lot of shades are not unique. Now I'm just going back in with this purple we used on the outer corner here to blend these shades in. So, to anyone that is watching that is an SEO person, please, please, please stop messaging me and telling me how badly my videos are performing and how you can grow my channel. Please stop doing it. I've had at least, I've only been doing this for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, we're at the end. I have had, without a doubt, probably 100 different people telling me how they're going to make my videos go viral. No, you're not, mate. That'll happen organically. I don't need to spend any money on it. I just feel like they are absolute predators. This is a learning process for me. We're slowly growing this community. I don't need you guys preying on me. It's just ethically does not sit well with me. Okay, going into the lightest shade now. And I say that because I just saw my phone pop up next to me. I can see the messages that I get, and this is the 10th one today. So if I want someone's help, I will reach out to somebody that I actually know. So thank you, but no thank you. And just tucking that into the inner corner and then bringing it underneath. Sorry, I got a little bit feisty then. It's just frustrating. It's happening every single day. One guy today messaged me on 2 or 3 videos, messaged me on my Facebook public account, my Teresa Madelyne Facebook account, and has put stuff on my Instagram pages as well as messaging me through Instagram, and somehow seems to think that I'm going to go, oh, thank you so much for stalking me across all channels and bombarding me with it. Oh, it's making me cranky, but taking away from what is this pretty look. So I'm just going to go and put some mascara on. See, that was super simple. These really blend themselves. I'm going to put some mascara on. While I do that, I just want to give a shout out to Ochre. This was sent to me in PR, an Australian brand. It's Maybelline Ophthalmologist. This is for sensitive eyes, and I've put that much mascara on today with already having filmed this. I love the thickening component to this. I love the lengthening, but my eyes should be, well, they are actually sore already, and they've been sensitive all week. Okay, so this is look 1. What do we think? Look at that. The good thing with these, like, you can do these monochromatic looks, but you can also move through the shadows. But monochromatic, like, it just gives that beautiful gradient. This is a really soft romantic look. I absolutely love it. They do really blend. These mattes are just like butter. So that is this look again. We'll just lighten it up. Can you tell I'm a bit cranky with what happened today? Anyway, now we are going to go in with the blues. How pretty are they? So let's start off. I'm using the same brushes today, but I'm just going to clean them off. If you don't have one of these tins, this is, look, I picked this up somewhere cheap. It's just essentially it's like water filter, like a fish tank filter foam, a fine fish tank filter foam, and it cleans your brushes off perfectly, gets rid of all the powder in them. You can use them. What it does is, you can see this one has a little bit of staining on it, but there is absolutely no pigment on there. So get one. That was dirt cheap. I think it was $1.99. Okay, so dipping into, we'll zoom in again, and I'm not going to be able to show you each colour. So we will dip into the lightest of the blues and just do a wash across our eyelid. And I say our because if you've got this, follow along if you're interested in creating. You can just see I'm doing little circular motions there, just to diffuse this out. And there we go. This is obviously has a bit more pigment, and has more pigment's probably not quite the right word, because this blue is such a different colour to my skin tone. It shows up more, which where that baby pink didn't show up so more, because I'm a pale skinned person. It's as simple as that, the contrast to our skin tone. So you can see that just blurs out across the eyelid so easily. Like, that's just a, you know, you could essentially you could go straight across the lid, or you could just put a shimmer now and be done. As simple as that. But of course we're using all the shades in the row. Going in, I think this is called Infatuation, can't read it, which is the second matte, like the mid-toned matte. This is a thinner blending brush. It's thinner that way, not that way. Just looking straight ahead into my mirror and going through the crease with that. If you don't have a mirror, I'll just show you. This is my mirror. It was just a cheap one from Kmart. It's super magnifying, so I've got this set up next to my camera, and it allows me to see really well because my eyesight's shot. So I've just put a couple of layers of that in. We're not going too intense with this because we're going to deepen it. But as you can see, what it is tone on tone. Glaminatrix is doing this really well. Blend Bunny does, if you haven't tried a Blend Bunny palette, she does similar layouts to this in a lot of her palettes as well, where the rows are set out and you've got the same sort of thing. And Natasha Denona, while her palettes aren't set out like this, does a lot of palettes that are tone on tone on tone. So going in now with the darkest blue. This is quite an inky denim blue, and just again, I'm going to do a video on brushes soon. I've just bought some. They're sitting here. I haven't opened yet, and I haven't tried these particular brushes yet. I really like to work with fluffy blenders of different shapes. You can get packers and everything. These just work for me. There is no right or wrong. They all do have names, but as long as it works for you. Tapping that in to intensify. Just want to build up a bit of depth there before cleaning my brush off and diffusing out. So you can see we've got that quite dark in here, and I'm cleaning my brush off. So I've cleaned my brush off because I want to use that brush to now just buff around the edges and drag the colour, because it'll actually move around your eye quite well. And I'll pull that in. You can see straight away it's doing that. These mattes are absolutely incredible, I've got to say. So just going back into the darkening shade that we used in the crease, the second shade, just around the edge of that, and then the lighter shade, and just tilting my head back because I want to really diffuse that out. Just buffing that sort of into the eyebrow there. And if you've watched if you've watched enough of these, you know I like to go back and forth. It really creates, as I said, that blown look. Okay, so we're sitting here at the moment. I'm really happy with where it's at right now. I'm going to put some eyeliner on my waterline and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the eyeliner in my waterline today. I think it's just the amount of makeup remover I've used throughout the course of the day. It's not really wanting to stick there, but anyway, we'll move on. So going into Peaceful, which is the darkest shade, and we're going to, which is what I've just used here, and stamping it as an eyeliner along the bottom. Okay, trying again. I've just stamped this. I don't know if I've just had to cut out everything there because I could not get a single word out, but I have just used Peaceful, which is the darkest shade, underneath on my lash line. I don't use a eyeliner anywhere other than my waterline as rule of thumb. Very, very occasionally I will, but most of the time I don't, because it's just too harsh when you get older, quite frankly. No other reason. Even this is a bit too harsh, and we will smoke that out and soften it going in with Infatuation, which is the mid-shade matte blue, like we did on the other side, just buffing that out to soften it and blend out the eyeshadow. And this does it really easy. Okay, where were we? Sorry, my husband just called on his way to the supermarket. Being nice. Can't not answer him. Okay, so we have smoked this out. As you can see, that has blended out beautifully. So easy to do. And now going in with the shimmer shades. So going in, I just wish these would translate on camera to the shifts in them. This blue has a bit of a pink in it. It's stunning. And just pressing, patting, pressing, and sort of pulling along with this. Oh, it's just, again, these shimmers are indie brands, man. I know they cost more, but gosh, it's worth it. Oof. So going in now with Ethereal, which is the lightest shimmer in this, and using as our inner corner highlight. Just tucking it in there and just underneath. Now with the little corner brush, just if you tuck it in here and you want to bring it up, just push. Like just push, it'll naturally hug your eye socket. And it'll make that, bring that up where it should be. Okay, so I'm really happy with where that's at. I'm just going to go and put some mascara on this eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with the final looks. What do we think? So obviously this is all the mauvey purpley row on the left of the palette, and this is the blue on the right. So like, it's really soft and romantic, sort of matches what I've got going on today. And then we've got this dramatic, more dramatic blue. But that being said, while blue isn't everyone's jam, it's really pretty. If you've got brown eyes, brown and purples are always really great for anyone with brown eyes. Opposite on the colour wheel, it just makes them sort of pop a bit. The colour is, yeah, I mean. So that is the first two looks. Let's see. Hopefully this is recorded properly. I don't think I'm going to get to the other two today, but next time you're talking to me, it'll be possibly tomorrow, possibly another day. But this is the first two looks. So, okay, so now we're going to do the next two looks. So we'll do this yellow and orange row first, again starting with the lightest matte to be our transition shade, moving into this orange here to deepen our crease, then deepen the outer corner with this burgundy here, the darker of the two shimmers, center of the eyelid, and the really pretty lemon in the corner as a highlighter. So zooming in again. Obviously, in an ideal world, you'd have me read out the colours, but in a blind world, that's just not going to happen. So this lemon, like the pink, the lemon and the pink are both shades that won't show up particularly a lot on here, just the nature of the tonality on them against my skin tone. So, but they're not meant to. They are meant to be a wash of colour. And that's gone really easy there. If you hear a noise, Jelly's behind me. She's just laid down, so she might be settling down. Going in with the orange now and just deepening up, looking straight ahead into your mirror, and windshield wiper motions and smaller ones back and forth just to start deepening that up, and then just bring it up a bit higher. Okay. And then this I like to sort of bring just below my brows to diffuse into it to open up this area. This one is super easy in that it doesn't take long at all because it's blending itself. These are such complementary colours that they just naturally blend out themselves. Okay, don't forget to stamp off your brush each time. Going into the burgundy now and just stamping that there. Burgundy is such a great outer corner and complements most skin tones. It's not too dark and it goes with so many. I love a burgundy. Now, just going back into this orange. And this, I'm going to clean off my brush. This is really pigmented, so I've cleaned off my brush. While there's staining on there, there's actually no, there's no makeup on there, as you can see. Now, just using this really gentle hold to buff out and pull forward to bring into the crease. And that will diffuse out really easy now. Little round circular motions back and forth. And it just diffuses out that shade, and then you can go back in and build a bit more depth. So back into it again, just to build that up. But if you clean off your brush initially, when you put that sort of first layer on, as I said, it allows you to build the depth and create that blowout effect. And just lighten the pressure, so you're just barely touching that now. Now just going over the edge with the orange, which was our deeper crease, deeper transitioning shade, and you're sort of going half of this brush goes onto that burgundy just so that it diffuses. Clean off the brush and continue on. Then back into that lemon just to put it back on your lid. Okay, I'm going to put some eyeliner on now, and then we'll come back and do under the eye and do the shimmer on the lid. Okay, now I'm not sure if I've shown this in another one at all, but if you have a look here, look, you can see the creasing under my eye. I'm looking up to hope that it shows that. And this is what a lot of people complain about. I just lightly set under my eyes today. I didn't use a puff, I just used a brush. Now that's natural, that's going to happen. If you want to avoid this, now you could use that light lemon, you can use a flesh toned one just to buff under there, but you need to put something under there to buff it out and completely set it. That's if it's something that continually happens to you. That's what you've got to do, my friends, from me to you. Just using an eyeliner now, going into this burgundy shade, and I'm stamping a cross here like a liner. And then what I'll do is I will go in with that orange shade to buff it out, and that's going to fix this creasing here. And what it does, obviously, as I've said in the others, is that it softens the softens this harsh line, it smokes it out, and again this just disappears before your eyes. And what will happen, or what won't happen, is that creasing will not come back once you've done this. So with this, what you essentially do, I'm just touching the bottom of my lashes that are there. You bring your whatever eyeshadow you're using. It doesn't have to be dark, as I've said a few times now. It can be flesh coloured, it can be a lighter colour if you want to brighten up under your eyes. Bring that down. I'm just lightly touching there. I can feel it. My lashes. So the base of your lashes is where you sort of bring that down to, because this is where these natural creases tend to be. And again, it'll get rid of it. So going in now with the darker of the shimmers. This is creating a beautiful, what's called a sunset eye. You can do a sunrise and a sunset. So the sunset tends to be like more this burgundy, orange, yellow. A sunrise eye will tend to be more yellow, orange and pinks, like deeper pinks, and more focus on the yellow. Sunrise, sunset sort of makes sense, doesn't it? They both look beautiful. Just tapping that on, then going in with the brush for this corner just to pull over so that they blend, so that this burgundy blends over your shimmer. And you can see that then that transitions seamlessly then. Okay, on a bullet brush now into the lightest lemon to highlight the inner corner. Just bring under the eye and highlight that following the curve as per previous. And I'm really happy with where that's at. I do love that shimmer. So I'm just going to put mascara on this eye and I'll come back and we'll have a look at the finished look. Okay, so we are back with this finished look. As I said, it's a really nice sunset eye. So just really happy with that. This is just such a wearable look. As is the pink. The blue and the green are a bit more sort of out there, I guess, for everyday, particularly if you're a woman of my age, particularly if you're a woman that's not used to wearing, or a person I should say, not used to wearing those sorts of colours. But all of these are super wearable. So going in now with our green row. And if you know me, you know I love a good green. I think last year I went pretty darn hard at it. Just cleaning off all my brushes. The interesting thing about this, and I just want to show you before we zoom in and start doing the colour, we've got this really warm green here and then a cool tone green here. And your brain, or my brain, certainly goes, these do not go together, you shouldn't be using them together. But having already filmed this, I can tell you it does hurt my brain and I don't want to put them together, but something just works. On a fluffy blender. So if you haven't got yourself a good set of blender crease brushes, just do it. I mean, they don't have to be expensive. I've got some brushes here that I'm going to film with that I've never used before, sometime soon, that are an extension of this Glam by Manicare range. That should just, they're not expensive. I think I paid $25 for this eye brush set, and as long as you can blend, you should be fine with them. See, that's a really pretty green. I'm sort of obsessed with, I'm obsessed with these greens, this crease and this lighter shade, because they shouldn't go together. Now going in with this mint green in to deepen up the crease. But the part of my brain that works with the colour theory just goes, this should not work. But it just does. Just buffing up. And this is it. You don't need to go in too hard with it. at this point in time, because we obviously, as per the others, will go back in and go over that. Just bring that up a little bit. I haven't put any extra on it. Just going back over the edge just to show that up again. Okay, so we're going to do a halo eye today. So using our darkest green, which is a really deep forest green. Just tapping that on the outside. Oh, this is a gorgeous colour. The depth and the tone of this. And then tapping it on the inner corner. Now this is not something I do a lot, only because my eyes are super hooded, and it can really close off my eye. Cleaning off the brush, and then just diffusing around the edge with that. Tapping back in. Now just creating a bit more depth there. Okay, now this is where we go back in and recreate our layers. So going in with the mint green, which is the second matte that we used, and just tickling around the edges there. I want a bit more depth there, so just pulling that to create the shape a bit better. So again, it's about that layering, and then I'm just going to just softly join these up here. I haven't added any more. I'm just sort of pulling across between those two darker areas, and then just with that mint back into our first lightest matte, just to tickle around the edges. Just super lightly, because we're just bringing out that colour again. And you just literally, like, I'm not putting any extra product on my brushes here at this point in time. Now with this, I'm going to go in with this green. Just bring it up to my eyes. I don't know if you can see that. It has a bit of a shift to it. It has a green, I wish this would show up on camera, has a green to blue shift. It's absolutely gosh darn stunning. Okay, just tapping that up through that center, bringing that up a bit higher, as you can see. And then just out to the edges a bit where that deeper green is. I've gone into the lightest shimmer. I'm just touching that on the edge there, and then I'm going into the mint green as well, just to help with that diffusion of the blend. And then back into our deep green. Because we want it to be seamless, we want it to just sort of transition through. Now with that mint green now, putting it on my pinky and just tapping that up through the center, just to give it a bit of dimension, as you can see. So this is a really soft pink to, you can see a bit of silver to that, and then just a little bit extra of the darker green shimmer. Just tapping that again. Okay, what I'm going to do now is put some eyeliner on and come back, and we'll finish our inner corner highlight and repeat this sort of look underneath the eye. So starting off, going into our lightest green shimmer in the top row and tucking that in the corner and bringing it up a little bit. Now for underneath the eye, what we're going to do is mimic this. So we'll do the inner third and outer third with the forest green from the bottom row. Just stamping that gently. Try and look straight ahead so you can see where you need to leave a space. And going in with our darker green shimmer firstly. Underneath the eye. Just touching the lighter shimmer right at the center point. And then again bringing it there. Just having a look to assess it. I'm pretty happy with where that's at. So now going in with the mint just underneath all of that. Not super into it because we don't want to disrupt it too much, but we still want to buff out underneath the eyes. So sometimes it's not about completely buffing out what you've put there, as opposed to creating a bit of a airbrushed, blown out, diffused, ombre, whatever you want to call it, look happening under the eye. Okay, so that's where we're at there. Again, I'm just going to go away and put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back with that. So here's this final look with the green. So as you can see, it's pretty intense. I am feeling very Elphaba. If you're a fan of Wicked like me, you know, if you're going to see Wicked, if you haven't been to see it, one, try and go and see it if you can. And two, this might be an eye look that you want to recreate. I used the smaller of the two Michaela X Glam Light palettes to do my eyeshadows when I went, but let me tell you, I would have used both, truth be told. But so these are the two central rows. As you can see, this is super wearable. This is a bit more intense. I do wear this sort of look during the day, so but that's me. So what do you think? What I also need to do is on my cheeks and on my lips, I am wearing Sunny. Super pigmented, but not too intense. So we'll move into our final look in a second. I hope you've really liked these. So this has just really showed what you can do by using a single row if you're not sure where to start. Again, you know, these are all stunning shades. So we'll look at playing with a little bit of rainbow next. Okay, we are back and we are going to do a bit of a play around in all the different colours now. What I have done cheeks wise is I've got both the shade Gentle and Sunny mixed together, and I really like the colour that it's made in the blush, and I've done the same sort of thing on my lips. So I've got more Gentle, which is the rosy colour on the outside, with a bit more of Gentle, with a bit more Sunny on the inside. So let's see how we go. I think I am going to start with, I think it's called Visionary from what I can see, which is the lemony matte shade. I don't know what I'm doing here. The only thing I do know that I want to do is that I want to use Tranquil, which is the deepest purple shade. I'll use that as my outer corner, because when I was creating the look, I only used that essentially as a liner. So we'll give that its moment today. But other than that, we're just sort of winging it at the moment. Well, let me think. I think I'm going to start with my outer corner and let that lead me. So going into Tranquil, which is that deep purple. And once I know what I'm doing there, so I'm just stamping that in. This is from Glam by Manicare blending crease brush. It's a dense, quite a dense brush. So just packing the outer corner. And again, this is where I'm just letting this lead me. This is where you have to trust the process. Anyone that does makeup, that will do colourful looks, will always tell you that. So just getting a fine blender brush now. And I'm just going over that to diffuse it a bit. Again, we'll probably pack that again a bit more. Yeah, that's a really nice purple. I'm really pleased that I'm letting it have its moment. So if I turn it onto its side here, it'll really allow it to diffuse out. You can see that's happening quite easily. Again, just stamping a bit more to build up a bit more intensity again, because I do want to keep that, but I do want it to have a blown out effect. Just back over the edge there with that yellow. Cleaning off my brush that I used to blend that out. Then I'm going into the lightest matte blue. I think it's called Divine. Again, my eyesight can't read it. I'm just literally just touching the edges with this. This is what I like to do when I'm sort of creating rainbow looks, is you're just touching the edges and it sort of blends in itself then, because you just slightly cross over there. We don't want too much of this at the moment. Okay, now I think I'll go in with Fanciful, which is that second of the darkest purple shades, just to bring this in a bit here. Yeah, see? That then becomes more of a transition in that area. Not all the way in, just for the next third. So we've got 2/3 of our sort of area done there. Clean it off again. Once more into that lightest blue, just very gently touching over the edge. Don't know if you can hear that noise. It sounds like, well, there's birds outside, but it almost sounded like baby birds. Okay, angling my brush just to really get it on that edge line, because I'll still probably, from the looks of that, have a little bit of purple there, and it's blending that blue. I am going to go in with Mint Green now, which is, whoops, this shade here. Ethereal, I think it is. No, Labyrinth, which is the mint green. Purple and green, I sort of have to. On both eyes. Just building that up there. Now, in fact, I'm going to use my finger just to get a bit more opacity on the lid. If your fingernails are short enough, do this. If not, get a flat brush. Have I got one right here in front of me? Get a flat brush and place it on, and then spray with some setting spray and pack on. Back into that purple Fanciful now and bring that across. I'm not too worried about this blend here because we're going to put something, we'll put a shimmer over the top of that in a minute. So, rightio. So going in with this lightest green shimmer and then this, I think. So going with the purple first and just placing sort of in that outer area on both sides. Clean the fingers off because you have to clean them off just like you do a brush. Going in with that lightest green now. And packing that across. And as you can see, as we join that down, that blends out that. Now it'd be too easy just to do repeat this under the eye, so we're going to go a little bit rogue, I think. Now you can see where these are blended into one another, it becomes almost really silvery there. Now my inclination is to absolutely repeat that, but I'm not going to do that. So going in with Peaceful, which is the dark navy under the eye. I don't know what colour I'm using in my waterline yet. Just stamping that across. And then going underneath it with the darker of the two lighter matte blues. Just to smoke that out. Okay, going into Visionary, which is the lemon here in the center again, which we first put on, and just going up around the top. Because far be it from me to try and use every colour known to man. Okay, so I've just put a sky blue in my waterline, and where is my bullet brush? I'm just going to go in with Visionary again, which is that lemon, and just put it in the corner there before going over it with the shimmer in Magical, which is that lemon as well, in that yellow row. Tucking it in there. And bringing it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go and put some mascara on. I'll set my face and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back complete. Obviously, I don't do lashes on this channel. I may do in the future. My eyes are super hooded. It would make them probably look better, but at the end of the day, most of the people that watch me, I wouldn't imagine, are putting lashes on the daily. So that's probably part of the reason why I don't do it. So here it is. We've got a bit of a rainbow look happening if we zoom right in. As you can see, we've used something from each of the rows there. So we've got this, the green and the purple is stunning. We always get sort of Joker vibes from that, and I'm not mad at it. The blues under the eyes, yellow in the corner up the top there. I'll just turn for you. I really like this. These blushes are really growing on me. So my final thoughts are, it's a beautiful palette. I don't know what to say about it. It's stunning. The shimmers are fantastic. As you can see, they blend in super easy. All the looks that we've done. All these mattes are super buttery and just blend themselves. They're so easy to work with. I love the fact that we've got this depth along the bottom. I think so many palettes are lacking in that. The Natasha Denona Pastel Palette, I have that and I love it. I don't reach for it a lot because I'm lazy and I don't... I am lazy. I don't want to have to reach for multiple palettes. In an ideal world, I have everything that I need in the one palette. Now, the pastel palette I don't tend to reach for any time other than spring. This I'll reach for all throughout the year because of these. Because of the depth that I can get from this. It sounds stupid, but it does actually make a difference. I don't know what to say about these shimmers. The two rows of shimmers I love a shimmer. As you saw though, when I was creating this could have been a beautiful matte look without any shimmer, so you don't have to use them, but they are just magical. These blushes, if you don't have them, like I said, you can get the 5-pack for $100, so you're essentially getting one for free. They're really good. They're really good. Aussie brand, of course. You know, if it's, I will buy them over Rare Beauty, which sounds silly. Must be one of the only people on the planet. I don't mind Rare Beauty's blushes. I don't love them. I would pick these over Rare Beauty anytime, and there are others that I'd pick over Rare Beauty in any case. But that is it. This has been it's been a journey, people. If you're following over on Instagram, I recorded all of these 24 hours ago. Had issues with my camera. As it turns out, they didn't record correctly. 2 of the looks I re-recorded yesterday. I've had a change in between the second or the first lot of looks I recorded today, or the second lot of looks on here. Had some lunch, ended up wearing it. I am one of those people. I wore a lot of lunch across me. Okay, that is it. So I hope you really liked it, and if you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed, and ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads. As I say each time, tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends, come along and join this community. There's not many of us over 50s on here, so you don't have to be over 50 to follow and enjoy and to learn a few things, but if you are of my generation, please come along, hang out, and make a comment below. Until next time, bye.